Well, circling back here to Ben and Haga, what are some of the possible scenarios? If Ben wins both races, then
that's the best one for Ben. Do that, and he's done.
That's what he needs to do. Ben is going to have to win both races, but I guess what you've got to do is you've got to look at the bikes first of all. You've got to look at the Ducati history here. The Ducati has got the drive off the corners, and we saw it out a little bit in that area last year. And just because Ben has tested well at a circuit, for example, Imberley had a great test, but he didn't race so well there. So it's just going to come down to the bikes and the advantages of the bikes in the day, and we can talk about them now. I mean, the Yamaha's got more top end than the Ducati, which on the long straight here at Portimao, especially with the long fast corner coming onto that straight, it's going to be an advantage for the Yamaha. So it's going to be, in my mind, a little bit closer bike advantage. But where Ben was racing Matt Mladen, they had the same bike. So basically it came down to the rider. But this is going to also, here we've got rider, but we've also got a bit of a bike advantage or disadvantage in some areas that may come into play.
I think if you're being poetic, I think if you're a Spies fan watching, watch out for qualifying because he needs pole position. He's had every one so far almost, but he needs pole position this weekend, and he needs to get off the line like he does usually, and he doesn't need to do in Australia where he hit the pack, and we saw what happened in the first race he ever did here. Remember, he was pole too. But if those two things can happen, then Ben Spies fans can be well happy that he's going to go straight on and get the double because, bit between his teeth, you've already said pressure, no problem. But for the Haga fans, it's time for the Crown Prince of World Superbikes and all the other bikes should actually slow down on the last lap and let the Prince through so he can finally be king of Superbikes, because after 13 years, I think no one would deny him, and he's been such great entertainment that I think it'll be an emotional moment for everybody involved if he takes the title.
In my mind, Haga will win or crash because it's no point finishing second for him.
Yeah. And that goes for Spies too.
Well, Ben, he'll want to win for sure, but he's also got to keep in mind his future.
Yeah, he's tested. Yeah, he's got a race the following week, a big one.
Yeah, I mean, he's making his debut at Valencia on the MotoGP bike, so he's also got to keep that in perspective. You wouldn't want to have that first race with a twisted elbow or shoulder or a dislocated whatever, so he's got to, that has to be playing on his mind as well a little bit. Whereas Haga doesn't want to have another year of finishing second.
But, that all very well. You're a racer, and correct me if I'm wrong. Spies wants to put those spurs on and clink straight down at the pit lane in Valencia and go, hi, I'm here. I'm ready to play. I've got my title in my pocket. Let's go racing.
Yeah, to do that, he needs one piece.
You need a cowboy.
Yeah, exactly.
Saddle up and get going.
Yeah, so how it works. I still think that Haga's going to risk more. For sure, because this is his championship. He's coming back next year. He hasn't won. This is the closest he's been. He's got a 10-point advantage.
So we swap round now. This is great. You start off by saying Spies.
No, what I said was I think Spies is going to win, and I think Haga is going to win the championship or have a crash.
Right.
He's not going to lose the championship by 1 point this year.
I agree with Steve.
True.
I agree wholeheartedly. Sorry, Jonathan, you're out in the cold.
Story of my life.
All right. Well, have we hit all the major bullet points here? Is there anything that we need more burning subjects that you feel we need to address?
No, pretty much that's about it. I guess the only other thing to keep in mind is the weather. If the weather's a little bit inclement, I mean, it can be here in Europe this time of year. It's been raining everywhere else in Europe. Everywhere in Europe except for right here, during the day, it's about 10 degrees. It's absolutely freezing. Here, it's 24 degrees just in this little alcove we're in, but it's also been raining. It rained really hard here on Tuesday, the most rain they've had in a long time. So we know that that could also play an effect on the championship because the Haga with the Ducati just seems to have a little bit of an edge in the wet over Ben. Ben's openly said that he struggles with the Yamaha in the wet. We know that he's a great wet weather rider because on the Suzuki and MotoGP he's done a great chance. So I hope that it's dry so that we can just see these guys duke it out fair and square.
I've got a little point too, and if you're getting really sad and cold and lonely in the winter, and you're looking forward to the season ahead, Daytona 200 could be interesting next year.
Yes.
Any reason why?
No, just because I woke up one morning and I thought, wow, I should do Daytona 200.
And you just you had a dream in the night, or you fell and hit your head on the floor when you rolled out? What?
No, then Bostrom called him and said, I'm really quick on a Yamaha. No. What can you do?
Yeah, no. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to go there and try and win, but I'm trying to work a deal together to go and do Daytona 200 next March. So just for some fun. So if anyone's out there with some flags and that and can help me learn my way around, I'll be very happy to.
I'll do the advice.
Yeah,
I'll be there, mate.
Yeah, but no, just working on a little plan with my world endurance team at the moment to hopefully do a deal and get over there and do it. I mean, for me, it's an iconic race, like the Isle of Man, but I'm not crazy enough or old enough to ride there yet. So I guess the Daytona 200 is, something I haven't done. I've done a lot of things, Suzuka 8 hours and 24-hour races, World Superbike races, MotoGPs. Raced Formula Extreme in America, but Daytona is just one of those places that still intrigues me. So hopefully I can get over there and do it.
We'll be ready with cameras rolling.
You know it.
To document your one-off win.
I thought you might be. Well, I hope so. That would be interesting, but I'm not as fast as I used to be, so I just hope I don't get in anybody's way.
Yeah, right.
And he will also be testing on Monday as well, which will be interesting. So we hope to try him on a few bikes as well, because of course, as you know, there's a sort of journalist test on the Monday, and they're doing a proper test for next year, next week. So it'll be interesting to hear what comes out of that too.
Yeah, so you'll get to ride some bikes, right, Steve? You get to ride some of these World Superbikes on Monday?
Hopefully, although I haven't spoken to Jonathan about this, there's been a little bit of a spanner thrown in the works there because I do some testing for the BMW. I'm a tester. They don't want any, the factory teams don't want any test riders or racers riding the bikes. They all say, yeah, they don't care if I ride it, but they've actually had to blacklist the German commentator. What's his name? The big guy.
Oh, right.
Kawasaki man.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Hoffman.
They blacklisted Alex Hoffman from doing it. So there's a chance that I might not get to do it. So that will be unfortunate. That when I retire, I can do it. So I rode them last year. So the thing is, Portimao is a great track. That's what I miss the most. And I rode the BMW yesterday and the day before, so that was good fun too.
Well, since you've Jonathan's got most of your clothes on right now, maybe you could let him borrow his leathers.
There you go. least you could do. Dave Simeon knows.